On today's episode of the Wayne Breezie Show, I want to know what you, the fans, expect from your team, the San Francisco 49ers, in 2025. Whatever it is, get your expectations ready. We're going to lock, we're going to load in, we're going to get down to it. Smash that like button. Let's get it. What's going on, 49er faithful? It's your boy, the one and only, the Wayne Breezie. Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Thank you so much for tuning in on a holiday. It's Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to those that fought and served and died for this country. I definitely truly appreciate each and every one of those that has done that for me, so that I could continue to be here living and giving you guys great content. So I just want to put out there that today we definitely remember, we honor, we remember, and we salute, so happy Memorial Day. I know it's weird to say happy Memorial Day to those that have passed and gone, but it's still a day to celebrate and to uplift. I think that's where the word happy comes in. At least that's from my perspective. I know it could be a sad and somber day for many of those who have lost loved ones that have been in the service. So we definitely truly appreciate your loved one's service if you did lose a member. But happy Memorial Day to those out there that are willing to uplift, and we definitely appreciate everyone on this particular day. So happy Memorial Day once again. What's going on, faithful? Make sure you guys hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching the show. I see the Breezy Bunch crew already in the building. I'm definitely going to shout you out. All right, if you're new to the stream, go ahead and click on subscribe. If you want to support the stream, all you got to do is click on that join button and you can support the stream that way, or you can go to the PayPal, to the Cash App, to the Venmo, or whatever, however you choose you want to support right here on the Wayne Breezie channel, so that I can continue to bring you great, fire, quality, high quality content. I'm streaming in 1080p too, by the way. I want people to know it's 1080p. So make sure you upgrade that to 1080p. So that way you watch it in high def. You can see all my freckles and stuff like that. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you're listening to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. It's definitely going to be there. The Wayne Breezie Show. All right, so make sure you guys check that out. Don't forget to leave a rating as well. 5 stars, man. We going for the 5 stars, man. I like 5 stars will push us up to the front. I want to be not in competition, but I want to make sure that I'm bringing you good things to listen to from a 49ers standpoint. So make sure you guys got to check that out. Shout out to our sponsors and partners over at residency.com. Don't forget to check those guys out. Use the promo code SFBreezy. They have a Memorial Day sale going on right now. So take advantage of the sale and use the promo code, so that way you can save on your total purchase. All right, Breezy Bunch crew, you in the building. Get my air horns ready. Let's do the morning shout outs. Boats in the building. RIP to my fellow war fighters who never made it home. Yes, definitely RIP to the fellow men and women that have served this country that did not get a chance to make it home. Jax Knox is in the building. Hey, Wayne Faithful. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. Happy Memorial Day to all that served and died for what they loved. That's right, what they loved. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that as well. Peachy's in the building. Wishing everyone a happy Memorial Day. Thank you for your service and sending out prayers to all of those that lost someone they loved who served. All right, who served. All right, Don't Bother Me is in the building. Colin from across the pond is in the building. I see everybody out there, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. So good morning. Shout out to all the Breezy Bunch crew. Appreciate you guys. Let's talk, though. So today's episode is going to be quick, bam, thank you, ma'am. But I did want to go over what we expect as fans, at least for me, coming from a fan standpoint, like what I expect as a fan from our team. this particular upcoming season. And if you guys have some expectations, go ahead and put them out there. And just for those to know that if you're a member, I'm going to respond to the members first. And if I see your question, if I see your statement or whatever, I'll definitely try to get to that on today's episode. It's going to be more like a call and response type of episode. So get ready, man. Strap on your seatbelts. Just some upcoming dates from the 49ers faithful. OTAs kick off this week. That's right, May 27th. That's tomorrow, May 28th, which will be Tuesday. They'll get Wednesday off. May 30th, they come back June 2nd through June 3rd. And then they get the day off on the 4th of June. Then they come back on June 5th. So voluntary OTAs about to kick off real soon. Phase 2, all right? Phase 2 is about to kick off. Everybody from the 49ers, they've kind of got their guys locked in pretty much in sync, ready to go. We'll talk about that as far as expectations as well. And then mandatory minicamp June 10th through June 11th. So for those these are the dates that are upcoming from the San Francisco 49ers, and I can't wait to bring them in. If they talk, they speak to the presser, we'll break down some of the things they have to say. Hopefully the interviews will be popping. I do believe the beat writers will be at the OTAs. They'll be allowed to be at the OTAs. So when they post, we'll repost. We'll give credit where credit is due. And it's just practice, guys. It's nothing super duper hype to get over. It's just phase 2 of practice for the San Francisco 49ers. But again, it's 49er content and it's authentic content. So we'll be breaking it down right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. And I wanted to go over some number changes for those out there who are like, man, who's this guy? Because you're going to be seeing these players for sure. Number 7, all right, you got Greg Joseph. That's the kicker that they brought in for competition. So Greg Joseph is going to be wearing number 7. Evan Anderson looks like he switched his number to 55. Trey Brown, the cornerback, number 22. Trey Avery, number 43. Dallas Flowers, another corner, 35. Derek Canteen, another corner, number 40. That's a number I used to wear in high school. Taron Jackson, linebacker. He's going to be number 56. Curtis Robinson, linebacker. He's going from 35 to 59. So he's going to 59. Nicholas Petit-Fred, 2 offensive linemen, 76, and Andre Dillard, number 65. And there'll be more number changes for sure. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. As guys, I feel like I've counted 91 men on our roster. I just want to put that out there. I feel like we have 91 men. I don't know what we're going to do to get rid of that one or who's going to be released or whatever, but I feel like there's 91 men coming in. Maybe there's the Isaac Allerson. I know he's going to be, I don't know how they're doing it, but I counted 91 men. And if you are a member of the Patreon, now listen, on the Patreon, if you join the Patreon, you subscribe to the Patreon, you will have access to documents, data, and all that type of stuff. And, if you are a member, go in there, click on the depth chart, and let me know if I'm counting right. I feel like I got 91. I want to make sure my count is right. So if you're a member of the Patreon, you can go to www.patreon.com, use the, www.patreon.com/the Wayne Breezie. Let me know, man. There it is right there. www.com/the Wayne Breezie. So go to patreon.com/the Wayne Breezie. Let me know if you are a member. If you don't have access to the documents and you are a member, all you got to do is click on the document. Give me your email. I'll grant you access. All right. So let me know. Do I got 91? Because I'm counting 91. It's a lot of names. I'm going to make sure I got 91. I think I got all the numbers updated. I do appreciate your contributions and your feedback. That's super important. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me see a couple of questions, man. I see a couple of questions out there. I'm just looking from the bottom. And we'll go back a little bit. My man DeMarcus in the building. Wayne, do you think we're going to sign Keenan Allen? What happened with the Gabe Davis visit? So Gabe Davis came to visit. He left. He went to a different team. And currently, he hasn't been picked up. Now, here are my thoughts on free agents as of right now. I don't expect the 49ers to sign any free agents. I do expect them to have guys come in to visit. They'll get a workout. The Niners will keep track on them if they don't get signed by a different team. Now, the Niners are pretty healthy They don't necessarily need to add, I think, anybody at this particular point. As I said a little bit earlier, we got 91 men on a 90-man roster as of right now. You want to know about Keenan Allen? He's a veteran free agent. I mean, these guys are going to get jobs. Don't get it twisted. But there are 32 teams out there, and the team that gives them the best opportunity and obviously the best offer, that's where they're going to go. I don't think the Niners are spending a lot of money in free agency, so I don't see a lot of free agents trying to come to San Francisco at this moment. But let the season go. If anything is to happen, I think injury base wise, DeMarcus, like that's where you're going to see guys probably get picked up. And for the 49ers, it's probably going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be too late. Kylie says Wayne thought he was William Floyd. William Floyd did wear number 40. That's the number I wore too, though. That that's funny. But yeah, number 40 was a good number. Joe Carmack, has there been any noise on Kaiser White or Amari Cooper? Nope, no noise. Talk about the linebacker, Kaiser White, wide receiver, Amari Cooper. No noise, as I think I did read that the 49ers may be looking to add another veteran wide receiver. Like I said, it's possible, but it's probably going to be a guy that they brought in. We talked about Amari Cooper a while back. I don't know if you guys remember that. You know what I'm saying? And I asked you, did you want a guy that had more drops than Debo on this team? And y'all said no. So I'm curious to know, do you still want, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, we can show comments here right now. Oh, this is going to be dope. Wow. I'm curious to know if you guys want to look into a guy like Amari Cooper. I mean, look, good wide receiver, a lot of drops, though. He had more drops than Debo last year, and that was coming from Josh Allen. So y'all let me know. I'm not a huge fan of Amari Cooper this late in the stage of the game, and I feel like there's still some talent out there from a free agency's perspective for a wide receiver. We don't know what's going on with our free agent wide receiver. He's supposed to be suspended per some of the reports out there at the beginning of the season, so we'll see what happens to Robinson. Maybe that was the Rob. Yeah, we'll see what happens to Robinson, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? When it comes down to wide receivers being added. So again, man, I'm not super sure if I'm zeroed in on Amari Cooper. I would prefer Keenan Allen. You know what? Let me take a look at the free agent wide receivers while we're talking about it. We have, let me just be clear how many wide receivers we have, all right? I got to count them, all right? So we got Brandon Ayuk, we got DeMarcus Robinson, Russell Gage, Isaiah Hodgins, that's 4, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, Tariq Owens, Isaiah Nair, that's 8, Juwan Jennings, Jacob Cowing, Trent Taylor, and Junior Bergen, draft pick, that is 12. So am I counting right? Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 12 wide receivers currently on this roster. I mean, the only ones that I feel like Brandon Ayuk's probably going to start the season on the PUP. He won't be available, so you'll have a roster spot there. DeMarcus Robinson may start the season off suspended, so we'll see what happens. But the 2 free agents that they brought in this year, DeMarcus Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins, so we'll see. There's a possibility that they look to add another veteran wide receiver. You guys could be 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. So that's 12 wide receivers, TJ Malone, that we have on this roster spot. 12. Again, Ayuk, Robinson, Gage, Hodgins, Pearsall, Watkins, Tariq Owens, Isaiah Nair, Juwan Jennings, Jacob Cowing, Trent Taylor, Junior Bergen. Again, 12. All right, 12. So if you take away Brandon Ayuk, that's 11. If you decide to take away DeMarcus Robinson for at least 3 games, that's 10. Are you looking to sign a free agent wide receiver? Do you want to see what you're going to get from some of the young guys like the undrafted pick Isaiah Nair? Do you want to see what Isaiah Hodgins is going to do? We got 2 Isaiahs here. Oh, it's going to be interesting, right? Or do you want to see what the 4th round pick Jordan Watkins does? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of want to see. I mean, we drafted a wide receiver in the 4th round. What is he going to be able to do? And of course, I'm interested in Jacob Cowing. I want to see how he's improved in the offseason. And definitely I want to see what the 1st round pick, Ricky Pearsall, former 1st round pick. I need to see it. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? If I sat here and went through expectations for every player, we'd be here all daggone day. But again, I just want to see them fight and compete for a spot. So that wide receiving room, to me, is deep. You know what I mean? That wide receiving room is pretty daggone deep, in my opinion. So it's 12 deep, -1. Brandon Ayuk's going to probably start the season on the PUP. You're going to have probably a small suspension from Demarcus Robinson. You still got 10 guys to work with. 10 guys to work with. And listening to Brant Boyer, he feels like the competition between Jacob Conway. I feel like the competition is Jacob Conway, Trent Taylor for one of those kick returning, the returning specialists. One of these guys aren't going to make the team. I'm going to go with, that's crazy to say that I don't think Trent Taylor is going to make the team because he's the veteran, but I don't think Trent Taylor's going to make the team. I don't see how he's going to make it over Jacob Conway. I mean, Jacob Conway provides speed, great hands, can fly down the football field, and he's still a return guy. He's a return specialist. But that's special teams. Special teams is going to be the the key maker. I feel like it's gonna separate guys from actually earning some spots here on this roster. So it's definitely gonna be fun to watch. You know, there's the veteran. Now we do know how the practice squad works. 17 players on the practice squad. 10 of them is going to be veteran players now. 7 of them will be the young guys. So I mean, look, if you follow the game and you play the game like your boy Breezy, I'm already picking 10 vets to go on the practice squad easy, and a lot of them are wide receivers. Like a lot of them. I think two or three of them are gonna be wide receivers. So we'll see what happens. All right. But yeah, man, those are the number changes, you know, and let's get down to the kit and caboodle. You know what I mean? Let's get down to the kit and caboodle. All right. Let's talk about our expectations as fans. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do mine a little bit differently. You know, I know you guys can have, if you guys got questions, for sure, get your questions ready. But I want to break it down like front office, coaching, players. Okay. So front office, coaching, players. Those are going to be the 3 divisions that I'm going to break down, and I'm going to give you an expectation. I could probably talk about one expectation per group. All right. And let's start with the front office, because I feel like the front office, you know, general management, ownership, my expectation for them always every year is improving this team. And they have to figure out how to improve the team by their metrics, whatever that means. Now, free agency, the draft, and we've done grades. So if we've graded offseason, coaching, free agency, all that type of stuff, if we address just the front office and what they did, I think a lot of us gave the front office an A+ by bringing back Robert Saleh, by making some changes to the coaching stems and all that type of stuff. They literally improved, and at least we can say we know one of the improvements. Like, we know one of those guys. Like, we got Robert Saleh back, so we're expecting the defense to be improved. They addressed the special teams. They fired Brian Schneider. They brought in Brant Boyer. That was a guy that was connected to Robert Saleh, as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we don't know if we're going to be we don't know if we're going to be improved special teams wise, but I think the hope is there, because we feel like we got a better guy, a guy that Saleh like. And we already know what Saleh can do as a defensive coordinator. So I would say that the front office, you know, just addressing the coaching staff and upgrading that, and you could credit that to Kyle Shanahan. This is all Kyle. Kyle handles the coaching. And so I feel like there's been an upgrade there. My money's on that from a front office standpoint. But they got the team, the front office pays these guys, right? And so Kyle might pick the guys. Front office got to say yay or nay or whatever, agree to the deals. I think from a coaching perspective, they definitely did some upgrading, and it's definitely a bonus. And then when you look at what they did in free agency and in the draft, now you talk about the general management of the team and the talent evaluators and the scouting and all that type of stuff, Tariq Ahmed and all those guys. Man, I feel like, I know it's uncertain, because we brought in several free agents we've never seen play here before. We've also drafted 11 players we never seen play here before, and then we signed 6 undrafted guys that we never seen play here before. But at the end of the day, they addressed certain positions. And when we get to the players, when we get to the offense, the defense, the special teams, we were pissed on every level. So I think the front office, from a front office perspective, they definitely did what they did, and they've exceeded my expectation. My expectations was to make the team better by any means necessary. And yeah, we could have spent money in free agency, but we chose to save money in free agency, right? And then they did something that we haven't seen in a long time. These motherfuckers addressed their own players that weren't even free agents, and they signed extensions, man. We're talking big year extensions. We're talking 3-year extensions for two of the players. Deommodore Lenoir got his extension early in the end of the season last year. And then you got Fred Warner, you got George Kittle, and then they got their quarterback extended for 5 years. So to me, the front office, general management, ownership, president, Prague, all those guys, they've exceeded expectations. For me, I'm a fan. Now, let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Did the front office exceed expectations? What were your expectations of the front office? What's going on, Rick? What's going on, Rick? Jack says she's happy about the upcoming season. You know what I mean? My man Collie says, Wayne, do you think Jair Brown will rebound and bounce back from a dismal season last year? Bro, I could talk about my man Jair Brown because I'm high on Jair Brown. I was high on him as a draft pick, and I was not wrong his rookie season. Tell me where I was wrong his rookie season. Then the sophomore season, it was definitely a slump, a bit of an adjustment. New defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen didn't really know how to line his players up. We saw a lot of bad execution, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with the hell yeah, bro. Like it's a hell yeah for me. I'm gonna say that his sophomore season was. That's what it was. I promise you, it wasn't. It wasn't the real Jair Brown. It was a confused young pup out there on the football field. So for me, yeah, Collie, I'm definitely gonna go with that. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. So from a front office perspective, my man Joe says I have full confidence in the front office, the coaching, the draft, the free agents. I feel like Debo being gone will be an improvement. I kind of hope they trade BA. Listen, I respect everybody's take. I'm not gonna sit here and push back on takes. But the beginning of what you said, I kind of agree. Like, I feel like the front office addressed everything that they needed to address. And now we get to actually sit back and kind of watch, starting with the coaching. I think that's the most important thing. And then we get to see how these players come out here. Now we're going to see if our coaching can develop these guys, right? Smoking Niner guy, I'm pleasantly pleased. I'm pleasantly pleased. Boat says, I would like a punt return for PR, right? For a touchdown would blow me away. Haven't seen one of those in years. I don't have the year to be exact, but the last time we had a punt return was Ted Ginn Jr. So it's a long time ago. I'm sure the year will pop up in the live chat at some point. You know what I mean? I'm sure it will pop up in the chat at some point. So, and fans, as faithful, I hate calling us fans. We're faithful. Let's just talk about the expectations that we kind of can control. We can't control injuries. We can't control things like that. Like, those things are inevitable. They happen when they happen. So, if they happen, we got to figure out ways to adjust. But, let's just talk about kind of like the things that we could control. So I got 3 things. So I felt like they exceeded expectations from a front office standpoint. Let's talk about the players, right? You know what? No, let's talk about the coaching. All right. So I already said that I think the front office handled every facet of their team correct, right? They got their money makers extended. They got players, they signed they addressed free agents and free agency. They addressed the secondary at the majority of free agency. They got players that can specifically be beneficial on special teams. So they kind of went that route. They saved money. They let key players go, right? In order to keep key players. I feel like it's a push, right? Like, so, yeah, you walk away from Dre Greenlaw, you walk away from Talanoa Hufanga. I felt like those were key players. One of them was an all-pro, but then you re-signed 2 all-pros and a MVP contention player in Brock Purdy, right? Because he was in contention for MVP a couple of years ago. So that's a win-win-win to me, right? Never mind the players that they're looking to get back. I just feel like now that the coaching is set, now that you have your special teams coordinator, Brant Boyer, Robert Saleh, your defensive coordinator, my expectations for the coaching is one thing. All right, I'm going to sum it up in one word. Okay, now let me know what one word you have to sum up the expectations just from a coaching standpoint. We're talking offense, defense, and special teams. All right, we could break them all down, but to sum them all up together for me, I need communication. I need communication. I feel like communication is going to be key. How it's communicated from the offensive side to the offense, how it's communicated from the defensive side to the defense, how it's communicated from the special teams coordinator to the special teams, and most importantly, how well all three of those coordinators, and I'm not talking necessarily Kyle Shanahan because he gave the job of the offensive coordinator, all right, to Kubiak. So I need Kubiak, I need Brant Boyer, and I need Robert Saleh communicating to one another. Communication from them. Start from the head coach down to his coordinators. I need that communication to be bar none. Yeah, I just made my William Floyd reference. I need that to be bar none. Because if those three coordinators and the head coach are all on the same page, it's going to be a woo Ric Flair moment for the San Francisco 49ers. It's almost like when you have miscommunication, you have confusion. And if you have confusion, you have discombobulation. And if you have discombobulation, you're going to make mistakes. We're going to make tons of mistakes. Now, from an offensive standpoint, let's talk about it. Let's break them down offensively. All right. Offensively, let's break them down. Let's go with the offensive. Kyle Shanahan, head of the offense. And now he has Clay Kubiak as the offensive coordinator. So those two got to be inseparable. Definitely need to be in sync, because if we want Brock Purdy to run the system, the offense, the way that it's designed to damn near perfection, then I need the head coach and the offensive coordinator always on the same page. Always. And this is going to be interesting because this is the first time I feel like we've had a legitimate labeled guy, as the offensive coordinator. And we've watched Kyle Shanahan like delegate or allow him to call plays, at least in preseason games and in a couple of the real games during the regular season toward the end of the season. So we saw an offensive coordinator out there doing his thing, and Mr. Kubiak, right? So I need the communication from Kyle Shanahan to Clay to be like they are just best friends. You know, they eat the same, they sleep the same, they drink the same, like everything. I just need them to be in sync because I don't want any discombobulation or confusion going from those guys to the main guy, which is Brock Purdy. I think that right there is we're going to see a big change. I think Brock Purdy and Clay Kubiak are probably like better when it comes to just being in sync, and Kyle doesn't have to micromanage now, and we'll get a better turnout. We'll get a better play. We'll get better things from Brock Purdy, right? And I'll get to the players' expectation. But again, I feel like Kyle Kubiak, Kyle Shanahan, from an offensive standpoint, they just need to be on the same page. Jack says Kyle should be able to be in his bag since Saleh is back and the trust is in him. All right, let's get to the defensive side. I like this. Let's get to the defensive side. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. I wanted to show y'all some love. My man Jeffrey Lewis says need to sign Jennings. Let's get back to Jax because she said the trust factor from a defensive standpoint should be there, which will allow Kyle to be in his bag. I couldn't agree more. 100% agree, because Kyle does not have to micromanage the defense. He doesn't have to necessarily sit in those defensive meetings and just be overlooking everything and kind of correcting and making kind of stuff uneasy for defensive coordinators to experiment, to do what they do best. Yeah, I always feel like people that micromanage make me so uncomfortable. That's me. I can't imagine if there are people out there like me, like some of our coaches that might not been able to complete their best work because of the micromanagement. You know what I mean? And Kyle's going to micromanage because that's who he is. That's who he is as a character, human being, whatever, unless there's trust. All right? There's trust. That's the key word, right? So let's talk about my expectations from the defensive standpoint, right? Robert Saleh and his team. Well, the good thing is we talked about communication, and I feel like the communication, Saleh to his defensive line is back. You know, Saleh and Chris Kosaric were just rare, right? They were a rare pair, and now he gets that back. And then he's going to get a new defensive backs coach in Ray Brown coming in here that's worked with or had interest in some of these players that we drafted. And I feel like the trust factor is going to be there. I like talking about that trust because I feel like there needs to be more trust from a defensive standpoint. When you look at the defense has its pillars and then its youth because they drafted several players defensive. The Niners drafted 6 defensive players in this draft, and 6 defensive players may have an opportunity of starting out there. Mykel Williams, CJ West, Alfred Collins. I'm not going in any order, so don't mind me. Nick Martin, Marquise Siegel, Upton Stout, right? All of those guys have an opportunity to compete during training camp, during OTAs, during mandatory camp, and then when training camp starts in July, to actually be a starter. Rookies. We're talking about rookies. So I'm expecting mistakes. I'm expecting things like that, but I expect the communication from Saleh and his coaches to already be established. I feel like that's already there. Johnny Holland, already there. Robert Saleh may have more trust in Johnny Holland than he does Chris Kosaric. I'm going to say it, right? Why? I just feel like Saleh is a former linebacker or something. I feel like that's his position and he gets it right? So when we look at linebackers, we look at the way they play. I think the linebacking position may be the most developed defensive position that the 49ers have had under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's tenure. I feel like they kind of get those guys right. Now, we got a lot of players. We got a lot of linebackers that we're still waiting to see if they can develop. And when you bring back a guy like Robert Saleh, who just understands football from a linebacking perspective, perhaps we see an upgrade in D. Winters. Perhaps we see an upgrade in some of these linebackers. They brought in a Luke Gifford. I remember I was watching film on who's our backup quarterback? Mac Jones, right? I was watching film on Mac Jones, and it was against the Tennessee Titans. It was the Jaguars versus the Titans. You know who I couldn't stop watching? Gifford, the linebacker. It's like the one game he started, he was like an all-star. You have to go look it up. Go look up that game. I promise you. Or I think I have that film right here on YouTube. I'm not mistaken, but I know it's definitely on my Patreon. And I could not stop highlighting the plays. We're talking tip passes. I think he had an interception in that game. I mean, Luke Gifford and that one game he started looked like he was ready for the big leagues. Sort of kind of like a Zach Bond in Philadelphia. And I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying Zach Bond went from a special teams guy to the number one linebacker, quote unquote, statistically in the NFL and a Super Bowl champion in like one season. Like, so he went from special teams to a Super Bowl champion, like literally, and finished number one as a linebacker, even over our guy, Fred Warner, right? Just statistically. I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying he finished better. It's okay. It's okay to say that. It's okay. Good. Right? So, yeah, I feel like I'm not saying Luke Gifford is going to be that guy, but maybe he's the guy that the Niners see some stuff in and whatever. We'll see. You know, he was a tackling machine in that game. And also he had an interception in the game. So the Niners have a lot of linebackers that Johnny Holland and I think Robert Saleh are going to be able to develop. If the communication between Saleh and Holland is on point, if the communication between Saleh and Kosaric is on point, if the communication between Saleh and Ray Brown, defensive backs coach, is on point, I mean, Saleh can literally be in his bag and call what he needs to call, because he's going to trust from the communication that he has with his coaches, his specialty coaches, that trust is going to be there. And I love it. I love it a lot. So, yeah, Kyle will be able to be more in his bag offensively, built off the trust, Jax, that he has in Robert Saleh, and that the communication is sharp and acute and on point with the rest of his coaching. We're going to see development, something I feel like we haven't seen in a long time, from the defensive line, linebackers, and in the secondary. So guys that are holding your heads down on guys like Jair Brown, don't hold him down. I think Jair Brown had a changing of the school, of the teaching. And you ever went to school, you could take the same class but with a different professor and bomb one and then ace it on the other one because the professor just taught it a way you understood it. I'm just saying. That's a possibility. So don't be too down on some of the players from last year's season. I think last year was just an anomaly, a bunch of adversity, tons of injuries, things to overcome, and some growing pains. I'm not gonna lie. We were just bad overall. I'm gonna get to the players in a second. One more on the coaching. Let's talk about special teams. I think Brant Boyer, I'm gonna be honest, I just expect a consistent special teams. I don't expect anything flashy. I expect special teams to just be better, because Brant Boyer is just better than Brian Schneider. I think Boyer is getting the players he wants. I mean, this dude comes in and gets rid of our long-term, long-tenured, long snapper and Tabor Pepper and brings in an even older guy that he feels is trust. And then he talked about it. He said because he's consistent. He's more consistent the way he snaps the ball. This, that, and the third. That means that Brant Boyer came in watching film. He came in watching film. I'm already excited about special teams. I didn't think special teams coaches even watched the film. But that let me know he was watching film and he was watching technique on where he felt like that special teams could be better. And then you look at the way they address free agency, they got some hitters to play special teams. We didn't just sign guys like Jason Pinnock and Siren Neal and Dallas Flowers and all these guys just to sit around and to be depth. Absolutely not. Them motherfuckers going to come out and they're going to get a chance to rock the jock off the ball, bro. Like, they're going to get a chance. They're going to get an opportunity. And I think I'm really excited to see what Brant Boyer brings out of some of these guys. And go on my guy Boats. I'm hoping a guy like Jacob Cowing, he has the speed. Can he give us that kick return or punt return? Can he give us that return for 6? Especially if the special teams aren't making mistakes, they're blocking in their lane. You know what I want to see? My expectations from special teams other than communication, because I thought that was the issue on special teams. I felt like they poorly communicated, starting with the coordinator to what the players necessarily had to do. How many times did you see players out of position to make the tackle? And then the kicker had to save the tackle. Man, we lost a kicker. We lost a kicker for the season, basically, because Jake Moody was ass, because he had to make a tackle to save a touchdown. Literally. He went from special teams player of the week in week 4 to like, get the fuck off my team. Like, in one season. I never seen that. That was crazy. All because guys didn't know where they needed to be lined up to make tackles. Literally. I will not watch special teams film. I do not have the patience. I do know watching the football games, though, players running in the wrong lanes, players over pursuing. It was terrible. Special teams was the worst unit on the San Francisco 49ers last year. Hands down. So I'm excited to see what Brant Boyer is going to bring to the fold, all right? So special teams just got to be better. I think the players they got draft-wise, they got faster. And they got guys that are specific on special teams. I can't wait to see what Junior Bergen does, right? I'll talk about Jacob Cowing. We're talking about a guy that kind of was like just a return specialist coming out of college, out of Montana, right? Junior Bergen, This was a guy that they drafted in the 7th round with their pick, correct? I'm excited to see what this kid does. I'm hoping he comes in and makes everybody miss, whether they use him on punt returns, and I think that's where they're going to use him, and maybe use Cowing on kick returns. I don't know, but I'm excited to see what Bergen is going to do. This should be really interesting. You know what I mean? This should be really interesting. You should get a healthy Mitch Wishnowsky back as well, so that'd be great. So you get your ball placeholder back. Hopefully this will, if Jake Moody wins the kicking battle, he'll be better. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I need special teams to upgrade big freaking time. All right, don't forget to hit that like button, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's your first time watching. We're about to get into my expectations for the players, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And I did not give the phrase of what I expected, but man, I talked about it. All right. My word to sum up those three: execution. And I don't know how many times I did a show and we were blaming coaching and everybody, and I said, man, but if the players aren't executing, there were tons of right plays called and players running the wrong way, blocking the wrong way from an offensive standpoint, blocking the wrong way, lined up the wrong way, running the wrong route. Just, it was bad. It was so bad that Kyle didn't even know how to simplify it. His simplification of the play still was poorly executed 9 times out of 10. Now, we can say, oh, maybe because it was the continuity, the offensive line wasn't consistent, a lot of injuries. Cool, sure. I don't care. Say whatever you want. All I know is I watched tons of mistakes. Offensively, I watched tons of mistakes. It was terrible. It was terrible. So offensively, I need execution to be better. I do. I mean, just from from a mistake standpoint, when I was sitting here going through the stats, and I'm like, I don't care where they finished. None of that bothers me. Here's what I was looking at. There were 45 penalties. 45. You know what it is too? The penalties. I used to get mad at the number of penalties. I just said from the offense too. I didn't even get, you know what? I'm lying. That's on defense. There were 45 penalties on defense. Let me get to the offensive penalties. That's going to make you even more mad. All right. So offensive penalties for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know why it's not giving me. All right, here we go. Offensive penalties. Oh my God. There's 65. 65. You know what it is? I used to get mad because the Niners would have so many penalties. And then I started thinking about the timing of the penalties. Like the timing of the penalties. Like big ass gain is coming back. Touchdown, coming back. Red zone, touchdown, coming back. It's like the worst opportune time for a penalty. You know, and you know what? Is there ever a right time for a penalty? No, because it could be 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line. You get a holding call. Now it's 1st and 20. You already dug yourself 10 yards in the hole. Now it's 1st and 20. Like, that's tough. There's no play for 1st and 20. You got to go with a 1st and 10 play and see how many you could get, and then go with a 2nd and long or a 2nd and short. It's going to be one or the other. Or it's long or short. It's going to be one or other, unless you get the first down. But it's very rare to get a first down on 1st and 20. Like, statistically, that ain't happening. So penalties from an offensive standpoint and defensive standpoint were terrible, right? And then flipping it to the defense, not only did they have tons of penalties, they have 45 penalties. Man, they had, all right, let's play the guessing game. Guess how many missed tackles, because this was my thing. Guess how many missed tackles the defense had in 2025. Can you guess how many missed tackles? Let's see who can get the number right in the live chat. Guess how many missed tackles the defense have had in the live chat. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I was looking up this information and I was like, God dang.
What the hell is that shit?
Man, like missed tackles on 3rd and longs. Man, I tell you what, Filthy Casual came out and said 100 with a question mark, which means Filthy Casual not even sure are confident in saying 100. I'm not going to tell you that's right. Peachy says 126. I ain't going to tell you if it's right. If we playing hot peas and butter, you're getting hotter. I'll leave it at that. Hot peas and butter. Come and get your supper. Now you're getting colder, Niner faithful. 85, man. That's a little cold. That's a little cold. You know what I'm saying? Joe says 10,000. God dang. Man, that's hell. Inferno. But now we ain't had that many. Peachy says 136. All right. You might as well go a little higher. You're getting hotter. You're getting warmer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all could Google it. Right now, Crazy Juice, member of the Wayne Breezie channel as well, is the closest, but you're over hot. 148 missed tackles. 148. What the freak? Wait a minute. 148 missed tackles? The team only had 236 total tackles and 148 of them joints. Never mind. I'm getting mad because I want the team to overall, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, they had 729 tackles, 236 assisted tackles. So you total those all up, they'll be all your total tackles. But 148 of them joints were missed tackles. And you know what's funny? The missed tackles came at the worst opportune time too. I think the Niners had bad luck in timing. If you miss a tackle, okay, right? It was just like when they missed the tackle. It'd be like 3rd and 19. They missed one tackle and now it's a first down. I was pulling out my hair. I don't even have hair to pull out. I was pulling out my hair. How you give up 3rd and 19? How you give up 20 yards? Like how? How's that happen? Third and 19. 4th down. Get the punt team ready. Get the punt return team ready. How is this first down? 3rd and 19, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 21, it'd be 3rd and 99. And we give up 100 yards for a touchdown. I couldn't figure it out. But it'd be because discipline and missed tackling. And to me, that's part of execution. It's also part of coaching. And I felt like last year, the coaching could not coach tackling. I don't understand. I'm confused. I don't understand how the coaching couldn't coach proper tackling for this team. Now, if you want to know, y'all talked about Jair Brown here. My bad. If you want to talk about Jair Brown, if you want to know to me where my, if you want to know where he pissed me off the most was his missed tackles. He was 3rd in missed tackles on this team, and he had 12. He was tied for 3rd. I'm not going to mention the other guy he was tied with, but he was tied for 3rd. So he had just the same amount of missed tackles as a player that was trash on this team. It's tough. Yep, Fred Warner led the team in missed tackles. He had 18, but he's all over the field. He also led the team in tackles. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Deommodore Lenoir was 2nd with 14. But damn. Even Demo. Missed tackles. So, I mean, those were your top 3. I mean, Malik Mustafa had 11. Nick Bosa had 11 missed tackles. Like, I'm not lying. Like, you're getting missed tackles from key guys. Could be because they were out on the football field too long, giving up them 3rd downs. And yeah, man, we can micro break down where we want or where we expect to be better. If some of y'all said, I want us to be better on 3rd down conversions, I love it. Because hell yeah, both sides, offensively, defensively. Convert 3rd downs and get the fuck off the field on 3rd down. For sure. But it's hard to get off the field on 3rd down if your key player guys out there are missing tackles. Okay? So it's tough. All right, so Niner Faithful has a question, and I love it. Let's get to the questions and we'll get up out of here. I won't be here before you long. So you want to know how many missed tackles we had in 2023. So what did I say the number was? 148 in 2024. 2023, we had 132 missed tackles. So we went up. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. We went up. But we also tied and leading the team. And happy birthday to your loved one, JP Hella Hard, man. Appreciate you, bro. We also had a top 5. Like Wilkes. We top 5 defense, and we were tied for first in interceptions. I ain't even gonna tell you we were in interceptions last year. But you get what I'm saying? So we went up. It's not good. We went up. It's not good. Jair Brown was looking like a shining star. All right, Filthy Casual says, you think Saleh turns it around this season, or does he need a year to rebuild with the rookies? Now, I think this is a dope question, because I feel like we got to have some grace depending on how many young people play. Start. I think when you're young, you're going to make mistakes because it's a new game. It's new football. I know it's football, but it's new speed, new strength, new whatever. It's just new to them. So I have some grace for the young guys. So if you're going to have grace for the players, I guess you're going to have a little grace for the defensive coordinating. But I just trust Filthy Casual Saleh to turn it around quicker because he's experienced. I feel like he's not new, and he specifically, because of his experience, hand-selected players that he can probably plug and play. So, yeah, I got grace, but at the end of the day, I think they'll get it quicker than if it was just some new players with a new defensive coordinator. Does that make any sense, bro? I hope that answers the question, Filthy Casual. Let's see. Jack says our defense was just off, and I think they never gelled under Nick. And you know what's crazy about this, Jax? They loved Nick Sorensen. Like, they advocated for Nick Sorensen. Like, they wanted Nick Sorensen. I couldn't understand that to save my life why they wanted Nick Sorensen, but it kind of backfired on them. You know what I mean? And so we'll see. Isaiah, what's going on? He says our offense will be okay with execution. We were ranked 4th in total offense last season, as bad as it looked, and the record showed. Yeah, so total offense ranked 4th. Situational football ranked damn near last. And when I say situational, I'm talking red zone. And so, yeah, man, you could put up yards. So if that's what total offense is really covering, like the yards, like Kyle Shanahan had machines out there and the players were consistently still making plays. But, man, the touchdowns were down. The scoring was down. Rushing became down. And we couldn't score in the red zone to save our lives. We lost a lot of games because of that. So, yeah, the production was there, but the overall result of turning the yards into points. And damn, we can't even say that special teams helped us out because we would get into situations to kick field goals and we would miss. So, yeah, points-wise was the issue, I thought. And we couldn't really zone in on the goal line. Like being in the red zone, not just goal line, red zone, 20 yards in, like to the goal, to the touchdown. We struggled. Callie says we could be starting 4 rookies with our front 7. It's possibility. And like I said, you gotta that's where the grace gonna have to come in. You know what I mean? Look, you put them 3 rookies as starting on first down and second down, and they give up 2 yards. It's a win. They give up 2 yards. That's a win because now it's 3rd and long. So all I want is 3rd and long, and then we get to see how the 3rd and long defense does. The Niners found themselves in a lot of those situations last year, man. It was 3rd down. 3rd down defense was terrible. That's where they struggled the most. Observe natural evolution. Even with all the defensive mistakes, they still found ways to get the offense opportunities to get the ball back, and they failed to score. Again, if you go back to the beginning of the show, communication. Communication. If I get the ball back and I give the offense the opportunity to get points and the opportunity fails, it's just a big miscommunication. But miscommunication, misfiring, and execution was poor. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why you tie all these together. I mean, all these things go hand in hand, man. Execution, communication, execution, all these things go hand in hand. Like you can't have one without the other. And I think the key to this season, this upcoming season, is more about how each unit complements the other one. You know what I mean? Each unit complements the other one. JP Hellahard says Kyle can't coach scared. I agree. I think that goes out the window when you know you got your guys. You got Christian McCaffrey back. He should be healthy, and we'll have to see. You're banking on Trent Williams being healthy. We'll have to see. But when you know you got guys you can trust, you tend to be a little bit more confident. Does that make sense? When you have guys you can trust, you tend to be a little bit more confident. And I think Kyle trusts his offense. With the players that he has back, he's got all the staples he needs. He's got his quarterback signed. He's got his tight end. He knows he can work with the wide receivers, right? And he has his left tackle and he has his running back. I think Kyle's pretty much ready to go. Him and Clay Kubiak should be ready to tear that club up. Now, on the defensive side, I think his trust in Robert Saleh is through the roof. He made it his business to make sure Robert Saleh returned. Robert Saleh said he didn't want to be no other place but San Francisco, and we start there. We'll start there. So I agree with you. Kyle can't coach scared. I think that goes out the window when you have the guys you trust. You know what I mean? Man, this was fun. You guys let me talk for a freaking hour. What is wrong with you?
What the hell is that shit?
I expect more conversation from you than me, but I appreciate it, man. Don't forget to smash that like button, man. What are your expectations as a faithful going into 2025, man? If you happen to watch this on the repass, man, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. Shout out to all the Breezy Bunch crew members out there. You know who you are. If I didn't give you a specific shout out, you missed the early shout out, man. If I saw it, I saw it. But I appreciate you guys. At the end of the day, man, I feel like this team is gearing up, man. OTAs kick off tomorrow. We get OTAs. We get 49er freaking football practice. Players smiling, having fun under the sun. We get it back tomorrow. Again, happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. Hope you guys enjoy your day. I'm going to spend time with the fam, and then I got to go to work tonight. So no BAM show on today. Told Mike he can go ahead and enjoy the fam as well. Love you guys. Keep it faithful to the Bay always, and we'll be back, man. Keep it open, baby. Keep it breezy.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.